Alright, I'm out here doing another mechanic's job. Got this old roller here. This is like a hydraulic powered roller. Let me show you. I don't know much about it. We bought it and it didn't work when we bought it, but the guy said it shouldn't take much to get it working. So I'm looking into the motor now. So the first thing I did is take the spark plug out, and I'm trying to pull it over, turn it over, and I see water is coming out of the, oh shit, you see that? Water is coming out of the cylinder. That's not good. This is freed up. So this is how you check if it's getting sparked. Put the spark plug back in it. Everybody knows this trick. And then you ground it somewhere. And then you turn it over and see if you can see it sparking. I see nothing. It's wet. I'm gonna have to check the tip of that spark plug. It looks like it's actually been smashed down some. Yeah, I gotta separate that a little bit, and then I'm gonna check the on-off switch. So I took a screwdriver and separated that gap a little bit better, and that's more like it's supposed to be. It must have got smashed by the compression of the water. And so it's grounded again, and let's try this again and see if we can get some spark. Yeah, you see that? There's some spark. That's good. So after verifying it's getting spark, the next thing I'll usually do is come over to the carburetor, take apart as much as I need to. Usually get this bowl taken off down here, check how much water we have in there, and most likely end up taking the whole carburetor off. Just clean it out with some gas and get as much as all the grime I can get out of it, and then put it back on and see if I can get some fuel flow into it. So I just took off the breather, and this is real bad. It's like the intake manifold. Oh shit. Not a good sign. Look at this. The whole carburetor's gonna have to be soaked. So I can't imagine what the float's gonna look like, and the little needle, shut-off needle, and injection ports. Clean those all out. So I got the carburetor off. Look at this thing. That's bad. I wish I just had a spare carburetor around here I could use instead of this thing. Save me some time. But I'll probably try to clean it anyways. Really, I need to clean out the motor. This is the most important part in here. I need to get all this cleaned out and flushed out. It's never gonna fire if it's not clear of water and moisture. So I need to get some air and brake cleaner and clean that all out, and clean out inside the cylinder. Just keep turning this over. Here's a trick to cleaning out the intake manifold. So you blow air into the cylinder. As long as you have the valve positioned where the fuel valve is opened, then this should work. You saw it coming out. So I looked into the gas tank and it is just filled with junk. Look at that. So I got this vacuum cleaner here. I'm gonna try to vacuum out as much as I can, pour more gas in there, vacuum out more, and just repeat. Alright, so looking at this carburetor, trying to spray it down. See if I can clean it up. Need to get this bowl taken off. It's pretty bad. Just crack the bowl off. Yeah, that's bad. So this is the float here. So regulates how much fuel gets put into the motor. And there's a needle valve right in here. So I need to take this off, pull that valve out, and take this float off, and clean it up. And the main injector is right through the center pipe, which comes out in here, or this side. Comes out in the center of here. This is your throttle. This regulates how much fuel and air come through. And so I gotta make sure that's clear. Okay, so I got the float out, and there's the needle valve I'm speaking of. Right there. This part. See, that's got a little point to it. That's the needle. And so as this float opens and closes, it will pull that needle valve up and down. Opening and fuel, letting fuel in, and then closing the fuel. And so this is the slot that the needle valve sits in. And so this slot will actually come up to here where there's a fuel shut off. This is the fuel in. Comes through here, fills the bowl up, then gets pushed through these holes here to go out to the jet. Alright, so I'm like halfway done cleaning it up. It's way better than it was. And I got the choke loose. So this is loose. Now I'm working on slowly working the throttle loose because I don't want to break anything. And this is the fuel line entry is clear, so then I just gotta work on clearing the jet. The jet it's hard to see, but it's in there, and that's the jet, and it can be threaded out. So I'm probably gonna try to unscrew it and pull it out, because that's a really small pinhole in that jet. So that's the update. I got the throttle loose without breaking anything. So the last thing I got to do is get this jet cleared out, and then I don't see any issues with this working. So that's gonna be cool. So I got the jet out. It's definitely clogged. And we should be able to see light through here, so that's clogged too. And let me show you where that comes out. See that? So I need to make sure that's clear through there. So I just use this spring here to clean it out, just like this. So I'm gonna do the rest on the carburetor. I'm gonna clean that out with that spring. Okay, got it. So if you can see that there's daylight through there now. See that? That's what it's all about. And then this is the jet, and it's a smaller, tiny hole. See that? It's all the amount of fuel that needs to come through here when the motor's running. And this controls how much air comes through. So I cleaned everything up off the carburetor that's like bigger particles and dirt and stuff like that, and if it's stained, I'm not worried about it because it's just fuel going to be coming through here, so the fuel will eventually wash these little tiny things away and through. But anything bigger, I got to make sure I get cleaned off because I don't want that to get stuck in the jet. But see, there's the needle valve, and I'm going to put that back into its seat like this, and then put this pin through here. I can do this with one hand. And just put that in the center. And then this is how the float works, so it's upside down, it'll be this way. And you see when it's dropped, fuel can come in, and then as the fuel level rises, it shuts it off. And then it drops, it opens it back up. So what I do to check it, make sure it's working, is I put my mouth on the input and blow a little bit of air pressure, and then I close it and see if it stops. Let me try this. Yep, it's working. All right, time to put it back on. Very tight fit. I'm glad there's enough room to do this, because otherwise I would have had to take the whole motor out, and that would have sucked. It's been a lot more work. Barely enough. Look at that. Sweet. Got everything back together. I ran into some issues and ended up finding some spare parts on an old motor. And there's also a stuck valve right in here. I had to take this off and loosen up the valve. And now now this pull starter is not working right. Well, it wasn't ever working right, but I can't get a full pull out of this. But I'm trying to see if I can get the kick over. So right now I'm actually looking at the starter and trying to figure out how I can wire it up so I don't have to use the pull starter. I can actually use the electric start. So update, motor's running pretty good. I hooked up the battery for the electric start, because why pull start it when you can do the electric start? And after this motor hasn't been running for so long, it was so much easier getting it started again with the electric start. But what I'm working on now is I'm putting new belts on it. But this tensioner was broken, so I'm trying to figure out where I can weld to this shaft here to have a tightener, and so we're working on that now. So update, just made this piece here so that I could make like a tensioner. I'll weld it on like this. and then I could screw this down, make it like a tensioner. Alright, so I got it tacked up. It's gonna work something like that. I feel like that should work fine. I'll get the other belt put on there. Alright, I got it set up. Got this little custom bracket here. I put this angle piece in the back to strengthen this. This is a pretty far down piece, so, and then now I can just tighten this bolt here at the bottom like this, and as I tighten that, it will push this down to tighten the belts. Now that I know it's working, time to clean up. So it cleaned up pretty nice after the wash. Not too bad. Now I just gotta wire up a new key switch. I think I'm gonna mount it here. It's just actually gonna be a push button start and an on-off switch, because that's been broken, but I'll make something work, and then I'll put a new seat on it eventually. I just finished it up. Got that board cut. So I got the battery sitting up here. For now, I'm gonna build a little stand for it eventually. But I got the new on-off switch. So you just turn it on and kill it. And I got this board cut here, so you can actually sit